Beat with Dr. Benita Zahn.
Mike Shoreman bills himself as an author, a speaker, and an athlete, but how he got there really makes him survivor. And by sharing his story, he encourages others not only to survive, but thrive. So welcome to Mike Shoreman. Coming to us from Toronto, you're a former paddleboarding coach, but in 2018, you developed a very rare neurological condition, Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Good morning, Benita. Thanks for having me. Yes, so I am a former paddleboarding coach, and balance, as you can imagine, is a huge part of the sport of stand-up paddleboarding. And in November 2018, I got very sick very quickly. And what happened was my chickenpox virus from when I was a kid reactivated and attacked my ear. Now, when shingles attacks our eyes or our ears, it's classified as Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, and it's a rare condition, and it caused symptoms started very quickly and progressed very, very quickly, and over a period of 5 days, my face dropped on the one side, facial paralysis, damage to my 5th, 7th, and 8th cranial nerve, speech, vision, hearing impairments, vertigo, dizziness, exhaustion, and most devastating for me, I lost my sense of balance. And I went from being this vibrant, athletic guy to not being able to walk from the living room to the kitchen of my parents' home.
You know, for most people, this disorder, this disease, resolves. But not everybody gets 100% resolution. Have you gotten everything back, or do you still have some residual effects of the disease?
Right. So one of the things that I sought out was a facial nerve transplant specialist who would take nerves from my leg and put them into where my nerve canals were. For nerve regeneration, but it can take up to 2 years for them to feel confident in doing that. And by the time that 2-year mark rolled around, I'd grown to accept how my face was, and there was a lot of self-acceptance and self-love that happened through that.
Mike, we're looking at a picture of you with electrodes on. Tell us what was going on then.
Yeah, so one of the things was they sent me to a balance testing center to test how dizzy I would get during certain activities. So what you're seeing there is me looking at, you can't see it, but I'm looking at a bar, and on that bar is a red light that's going from left to right, back and forth, and my job was to follow that red shooting light and with my eye and to see how long I could do it for without spinning out and getting really dizzy.
Mike, you eventually got back on the paddleboard, didn't you?
I did. So the doctors said, flying is going to be a really big challenge. Car trips, paddleboarding's done. And then, as a lot of people who have chronic conditions, I have a huge mental health component to my story. But when I started dealing with that and acknowledging that there were issues, I did end up getting back on the paddleboard, and I lasted a few minutes just sitting down, and by doing that, that gave me the confidence to try sitting down on it for another 3 minutes, and then for 5 minutes, and then for 7 minutes, until 3 or 4 months later, I stood up for the first time, and I lasted a minute or so.
That must have been a wonderful feeling. And in the process, now you've taken to public speaking. You won an award, the North America's largest inspirational speaking competition in 2019. As I see the clock ticking down on us here, Mike, the takeaway that you always want to leave your audience with from what you experience is what?
Is that you are your own biggest advocate and to not give up. We are capable of much more than we realize, and we are very resilient people.
As you so clearly prove. I wish you all the best. A lot of good time on the water and more time speaking and sharing your story with others. Mike Shoreman, thanks so very much.
Thank you, Benita.
Be well.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending time with me and Mike Shoreman. Till the next time, stay well.